Hey guys, it's your girl again from the Haitian American cuisine. I'm excited to show you how to cook legume, also known as vegetables. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Alright guys, so I'm just going to jump right into it with the key main ingredients that I will be using in today's video on how to make legume, okay? So right here I have my bowl of natural leaf spinach. Then I have my eggplants. Following, I have my cabbage, carrots, nice, big, fat, and juicy. Then I have my chayotes that we call militon. My eggplants that we call berigène. Baby lima beans, and last but not least, my Haitian épices, which is all natural seasoning that once again I will have a separate video on how to make. In a few more moments I will get more into the seasoning and spices that I use, but this part of the video is just to share with you the main key ingredients to make legume, which is also known as basically vegetables. Alright folks, we're just doing a quick check-in on all the vegetables that are, I put them to a boil. There goes the eggplant, as you can see. Okay. I have some of the cabbage, the carrots. Okay, they're all boiling in there together. I did add a little bit of olive oil to the water. And some people actually like to add some seasoning, so that in the juice, in the water juice, because vegetables are very watery. They produce their own water. It's alkaline, right? So I also like to add a little bit of just powdered seasoning. You can add adobo if you want to, or a little bit of salt, but I'm really not a salt person, to be honest with you. I'm more focused on my spices. So this is the part where you would add, or maybe a Maggi cube. Again, I focus more on my spices, so it's really not a big deal to me, but yeah. So it's looking good. For this part, when you're putting the vegetables to cook, I would say you can let them cook for about half an hour to 40 minutes. Okay? So now I'm going to move over to this portion of the video for the meats that I'll be using in the legume. Guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on this video. Drop a comment in the comment section of this video if you have any questions, or if you decide to use my recipe. I'd love for you to follow up with me on how it tasted. I will also have a separate video on how to make meatless legume, so stay tuned. So first we're going to start off with my Haitian seasoning, the épices. Okay, I'm going to pour 1 cup of Haitian épices over my meat. And the meat that I'm actually using in today's video is beef, the chopped beef stew particularly. I'm also using onion powder. Typically I like to have my seasoning already pre-prepared in like measuring cups, but today I'm not in the mood for that. I just want to do it Caribbean style. I'm not going to always be proper, I promise you guys. It all depends on what mood I'm in. Today I'm in the pure Haitian mood, okay? Well, now I'm going to use some Lowry seasoning, salt, okay? And guys, I will have exact measurements down in the description, with the ingredients and the exact measurements that I use. So this is basically half a cup of Lowry's, because I am cooking a large amount. Okay. Then I'm also using some garlic powder. You can use garlic powder, or you can mince your own garlic. It's up to you. But again, in today's video, this is what I'm using, garlic powder. Then my favorite, matuk. That's my preferred hot pepper sauce. Again, if you're not big on pepper, then obviously you would omit it. But I'm a pepper girl, so none of that got your chauffeur. And then, last but not least, I will also be using some Maggi cubes. I know that this part, there are people that feel a certain way. I always tell you, you go with what works for you, okay? I use Maggi. For the most part, I use non-MSG Maggi cubes at times, and sometimes I don't. You know, but obviously if you have health issues like high blood pressure and you have to stay low on the sodium, I would definitely say go for the non-MSG low sodium Maggi. Nowadays there are just way too many different types of Maggi, to be honest with you. I like it. It tastes good. It helps my food, just like Lawry's or any type of seasoning. But as you can see, I just crushed 3 Maggi cubes. Now, time to mix. So I'm mixing and mixing and mixing. And I realized that I noticed that I mentioned earlier that I'm using the beef stew, but I did not mention this is what we call ragu, which is another form of beef. This is the pied bœuf, okay? And then, last but not least, I have my Haitian butter, the Lily's brand, beurre chalonneux, that I like to also mix into my food when I'm seasoning. And as you can see, I just mix it all in. I will be using a pressure cooker today because it helps my meat to cook much faster. When you're cooking legume, it is a process and it can take long. It's a very long process because you're dealing with vegetables on one part, you're dealing with meat on another. To clean the vegetables, I particularly use baking soda to clean any fruits or vegetables. Then never mind cutting them, chopping up what needs to be chopped up, you know, then cooking and then the meat. So this is a process that can take, I'd say, typically about minimal 2 hours, literally. But when I tell you, it is so worth it. And then there's other times that I would like, sometimes I would use crab legs. For anyone who are seafood lovers, I'm also going to make a separate video on how to cook legume with seafood, where I'll be using Haitian conch and crab legs. And then of course, I can't wait to share my vegan legume on Meatless Mondays. So guys, I have a lot in store for you. Right before I switch the meat over to the pot that I'm going to pressure cook, I do add my thyme leaves. Very important in today's recipe. So right here I have the meat all transferred over into my Instapot pressure cooker, and this will cook for 45 minutes to an hour. So it's nice and tender, guys. All right guys, this is 45 minutes from my Instapot pressure cooker, and this is what the ragu and the beef looks like. Well, bien lagué. Nice and tender, guys. Oh yes, my legume is going to be bomb.com. Vous entendez? Bombagay.com en créole. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to saute the lima beans. Okay? But what I'm really going to do, to be honest with you, is for those that don't know, most meats tend to produce its own like grease and oil. So I'm literally just going to grab some of the grease from the beef that same grease and saute my lima beans. Why? Because it already has some grease in it. Just like that. Okay? Some people might use olive oil, but I don't have a need to. And I can use the same grease, okay? And then I just pour in my lima beans, just like that. And then I stir. Because the whole idea is to saute it. And at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper Okay. Again, I will have exact measurements of what I use in the description portion of this video. It's listed below in the comment section. And as you can see, I'm stirring because I want to allow it to saute. Then I'm going to now add 1 Maggi cube, because remember, I've already used seasoning, but you know, like I mentioned earlier in the video, vegetables is alkaline based and it does suck up the water. The water itself sucks up, you know, the salt and the seasoning. So to give it that good taste, I am going to add 1 Maggi cube to the lima beans that I'm sauteing. And again, I stir it in evenly, just making sure it all gets in there. Okay. Okay. Typically, I let it saute anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. This is where I'm going to add 1 Goya Sazon packet as well to my saute. I just love the nice red color it gives the food. Well, depending on what I'm cooking. Stir it in. Bon bagay bon fom kreol. Li ka pale la, men si nou ma pale anglais. Kagen pou ka pete chodi, nou wala kay mwen. Okay? And guys, this is just a habit I have, constantly hitting the pot. Don't ask me why I do it. I have no idea. Now, after letting it saute for 3 to 5 minutes, this is where I add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And I just want to share with you, again, doesn't matter what brand you use, but it's literally 1 tablespoon, and I mix it in. Mix it in. Stirring it and stirring it. I don't know if you guys noticed, the color has changed between the sazon and the tomato paste that we call patomat. That's right. Now this is where I'm going to add the vegetables, the legume, to my lima beans. So before adding the vegetables to the lima beans that's sauteing, this is the process where you want to put it in a blender or food processor. In this case, I'm using a blender, and I just whip it all together. Okay, now we're going to add all of the legume, the vegetables that we just blended in the blender, into the sauteed lima beans, like so. Okay, and then of course I mix all together. It has a thick texture, and this legume has it's a little, not a little, it's really on the orange side because of the carrots. Okay, typically the average color for legume is anywhere between orange and brown, depending on how much carrots you have. you know, versus the greens, which I will be adding cabbage later on and my spinach and things of that nature. So this is now round 2 of the blended vegetables. As you can see, this one is a little lighter in terms of color because this one has the more of the chayote, which is the militon, and the eggplant. So the color is going from an orange, like a deep orange, to like really a light brown because of the yellow texture, the yellow color that's mixing in with it, the yellowish greenish. See, kind of looks like curry too, but it's really not, and it tastes nothing like it. Okay guys, now this is where I'm going to add the leaf spinach. Hope you didn't forget about that. I'm gonna add the leaf spinach, shred up some cabbage. Spinach produces its own water because it's alkaline based, and all I have to do is cover it for a little bit. See you in a few. So now guys, after adding the spinach, this is when I'm going to now add the meat. First, I'm gonna put the pied bœuf in, okay? And the last meat that I will add is the stew beef because I don't want it to break. Like, you know, it can overcook is what I really should say. So you see like how a piece came in here, accidentally fell in here. I'm going to take it out and set it aside because while all the vegetables, legume, is just nicely coming together, the beef can overcook, and you don't want that to happen when you're making legume. You understand? So right now it says viande ragout. It's the ragout meat that I'm adding in, and see you in a few. And as you can see, the ragout meat is in there, and I'm going to let this cook for another, I'd say about 10 minutes before adding the stew beef. Okay guys, the final stage now is when we add the beef stew, because again we didn't want to put it too early so the meat does not, you know, break. When I say break, like doesn't, you know, we want it to be in chunks basically. I'm trying to say it in better terms. So you just mix it in, and if you find like a thyme leaf such as this one, you just pull it out, okay? And you let it cook with the spinach, and that's it. Ready to be served after about 10 minutes.